So thank you all for joining us, and thank you again to the Aspen Institute and Rutgers for hosting us. It's great to be part of this discussion, big ideas discussion. Some of you will see that my remarks are a little bit repetitive of yesterday, but I know there are many new people in the audience, so I'm going to share a little bit of background. But first, imagine as an employee going to work every day for the company you own, knowing you have a stake in the game, knowing you are empowered with transparent information, clear levels of authority, and consistent education, knowing you are responsible to take care of customers, your fellow employee owners, and your community, and knowing you will be rewarded for your good work with wealth creation in your ESOP and cash bonuses. This is the American dream, and this is what it's like to work at border states and thousands of other employee-owned companies. While I most recently served as the 39th Lieutenant Governor of the great state of North Dakota, I spent 29 years of my adult life working at an employee-owned company, and the last 14 years as the CEO and board chair of Border States. Border States is a $4.5 billion company headquartered in North Dakota with 130 branch locations in 29 states across the United States. There are currently about 3,500 employee owners. Border States established its ESOP 40 years ago and became 100% employee-owned and an S-Corp in 2000. I became the CEO in 2006, and at that time we were a $485 million company. During my term as CEO, we grew to $2.5 billion in annual sales, and our stock value grew from $161 a share to over $1,800 a share. We created tremendous amount of wealth for employee owners. And it was that employee ownership that powered that growth and continues to power the growth and success of the company. Fundamental to the ownership culture at Border States is transparency, education, empowerment, and accountability. This culture produces responsible behavior, which drives company performance, allows employee owners to amass tremendous amounts of wealth in their ESOP, and it helps create a duty for those employee owners to give back to the communities where they live and work. Successful ESOPs provide employee owners the opportunity to live the American dream, to work for the company they own. This is true for the 3,500 employee owners and thousands of retirees at Border States and millions of others who work for employee-owned companies in the United States. According to the ESOP Association, 10.8 million workers work in an employee-owned company. That's 8% of the private sector jobs. Only 8%. How can we double the number of employees working for the company they own in the next 5 years? Who's waking up every morning thinking about that? What an opportunity for employees. How can we have a more focused strategy? That strategy needs to start with increasing awareness, creating incentives, and providing more resources. Where is the go-to place, the one-stop shop for ESOPs? It would be great if we could develop robust Office of Employee Ownerships in every single state and at the federal level. I know there are a few states who are doing this and doing it pretty well, but just not even a handful. And the Employee Ownership Initiative, it was established in 2023 at the federal level. It's a new program of the U.S. Department of Labor. I had the opportunity of meeting Hillary yesterday and look forward to her work. But I don't know if you've looked at their site. The resources are still very limited, with a few federal and state resources and university resources listed. There is so much more that we can do. A great start, but more that we can do. I have done a number of ESOP transactions, several, and I know that each one is very unique, very complicated, and very expensive. How can we make this process easier, simplified, less expensive? How can we create a turnkey solution, a one-stop shop for ESOPs? You're probably thinking that's a little bit crazy because they are so unique, but I don't think it is. The transaction to do an ESOP, either for a new owner or even to merge with another ESOP, is very complicated. It takes accountants, attorneys, valuation experts, administrators, and if you do it right, a communication strategy to go along with it. It's really hard for people who are focusing on their business every day to put together that team. How can we create a turnkey one-stop shop? You'd think it's impossible, but we did it at Border States. We had so many large utilities who turned over their whole supply chain to Border States. We had contractors that turned over big projects, relighting a big office tower with the material, the equipment, the labor, the financing. We provided turnkey solutions. It was so much easier for those business owners to say yes. We can do the same thing for ESOPs. And as we're doing that, how do we create more awareness? Many of us are on advisory boards at our local universities. How many of our local universities are building employee ownership into their curriculums? I challenge each of you to go back to your hometowns, go to your local universities, and talk to them about including employee ownership in their curriculums. And lastly, when you're talking with them about curriculum, talk to them about internships. How many of our universities are providing internships specifically to employee-owned companies? Probably not any. At Border States, every year we hire dozens of interns. None of them knew about employee ownership before they came to work for us. But after they experienced our culture, they were sold. So those are some of my ideas. I thought I could have 5 big ideas. Those were just 3. But I hope those will get you thinking about some things to do. Let's increase our resources at the federal and state level. Let's look at those turnkey opportunities and solutions to expand employee ownership. Let's talk to our universities, and let's talk about internships at employee-owned companies specifically. With that, we can double the number of employees working at employee-owned companies in the next 5 years, and let's all work to give every American worker the ability to live the American dream, to work for the company they own, and to share in the wealth that they've helped to create. Thank you.